Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and today I'm doing a discussion over the Emerald Flame. This is one of the post-curious big box narrative puzzle games, and I'm going to go ahead and preface this discussion by saying that I definitely think that this box of this puzzle game is certainly for a lot of people. However, for me, I found it unbearable. This was not in my wheelhouse of this type of genre at all, which is kind of a shame because I did another one of theirs, their small box one, The Light and the Mist, and found that one to be completely enjoyable. This type of puzzle genre board games is very, very swingy in my book because whenever you're designing puzzles, you have to, one, make them extremely creative and fun, and that's all subjective. It's all just based off how people's brains work, and some puzzles are going to be really, right up someone's alley, and some just completely aren't. And that's something going into a game like this. Exit, Unlock, the Hunt a Killer, series thing. There's definitely just going to be puzzles that are like, this doesn't work for me, and therefore I'm not enjoying it, or, oh man, this one was really creative, it clicked, and that's just how puzzles are, like if it makes sense to you, or you're able to work it out and have it and solve it, then you're having a good time. And I mean, many of the unlocks have that of like, this just isn't making sense to me, therefore I'm not having fun. But then you just have those. The Light and the Mist, their other one, had a lot of really good creative puzzles. Some were very simple, some were more challenging, some were just, extremely left field. You had a wide variety, and that made it worth it. Unfortunately, for the Emerald Flame, I found every single puzzle completely unbearable to go through. Every single one of them. Now, they say in the rules, that you're going to have a wide variety of difficulty. And by wide variety, it means, you might kind of know where to begin. Others, you just have no clue. And I think the issue that I mainly have with this, there's a lot actually, but I found every single puzzle homework. Like, there wasn't ever one that we came across that was like, oh, this one's fun. Oh, this one's challenging. Oh, this one's creative. Every single one of them literally a lot of them were kind of repetitive in how you went about it. It's like, find the comparison between these flowers. And I'm not going to spoil any of the puzzles, but it's like, find the direction that all of these point. Okay, now start measuring. It was very, very analytical, and whenever you're talking about this being like a narrative puzzle adventure, you would expect it to kind of be in the sense of your puzzles are part of that narration. And maybe that's just something that I had in my head going into it, because I had just done their Light in the Mist, and their Light in the Mist was very narrative focused on like, boom, every puzzle was like its own isolated thing, or the narrative element of the Unlock games. And here, basically, you would read a sheet of nonsense, of whatever, like of just basically text that just was kind of whatever. It almost felt like it was a business memo, and then you were just flooded with just papers of stuff. And I've done these before, primarily with the Hunt a Killer, and I've come to realize that those types of puzzle games, or those types of deduction-esque games, I just don't really enjoy. I like my puzzle games to be a lot more linear focused, where it's like I can isolate and segment each puzzle and not have to worry about a lot of the components. And here it's just like, okay, we're in part 2, let's open it up, and we're just flooded with 8 sheets of puzzles, and then you have to parse out what goes with what, and you're not quite sure what if this goes with that, and it just feels like every single puzzle is just designed to drain hours of your time. And for a lot of people, they will love that. They will think that that's the most fun thing in the world. After solving like one puzzle, like in like part one, for example, it's like after solving one puzzle, it's like, oh, I immediately don't want to do any of the other ones. It's not like, oh, whew, okay, yeah, that one was rough, didn't really work, but we got it. Awesome. Let's see what the next one is. Oh, this one looks fun. Nope, it was immediately look at the sheet and just stare at it and know that you're going to have to start doing some equation to figure out the answer. And it all always just boils down to one word. And then they incorporate some tech, which is completely unneeded. And actually, some of the tech is misleading for some of the puzzles, which is extremely frustrating. But, like, whenever you put in your answer, it's supposed to be like this chat room element, and it's not incorporated really well at all. Like, whenever you're talking about a narrative puzzle adventure, you would think the narrative part would have a huge portion of it. Like, you would have some major story being told throughout the entire game that then pulls in puzzles. Not really. It's like, oh, hey, there's this girl that you kind of have a chat blog with, and then she just, every single one, you just put in the answer. It's like, here's the answer. And she's like, ah, cool, you found it. Good work. Anything else? Nope. How are you? It's like, it just, you get nothing out of it. And so then you just put in the three answers, and then, because each part has like, okay, you find these three answers, then you do like the big puzzle, which is just completely repetitive. But then you put in the three answers, then you do the big puzzle, and she's like, all right, cool, let me know when you get the next package. But you already have all the packages. So I will say, this is the best comparison I can have with this is to the Hunt a Killer, where you get a box in the mail each time, and it just has a bunch of stuff for you to try and solve. But each month you had to find one answer. Like the Hunt a Killer, which I have a series of on my channel, is like, oh, today you're trying to figure out who a witness is or something, and that was like that month's goal. But then you had to wait a whole month, even though you could expedite the next part. But if you did it regularly, you had to wait a whole month, then come in, and then you just had to try and recall everything that you did from 2 months ago. Luckily, you have everything here. You don't have to wait. You have all parts, and the let me know when you get the next package is just part of the theme. And so the narration, I absolutely didn't give a shit about. There was no type of overarching story. It feels very escape room-esque, but again, with no direction or rhyme or reason on what you're really doing with the puzzles, except just to solve a puzzle. So that part of it was just unnecessary. And then the second part is, like I said, every single puzzle just felt so overly complex for the sake of being complex. And I know whenever I hate doing these kinds of discussions, because then it's like, oh, well, maybe you're just stupid. It's like, maybe I am, because none of these, and we solved a large portion of them without looking at hints. The only time we went to look at like the hints was to verify if we were on the right path. But they were just so unfun. Even figuring out, oh, hey, we are on the right path, and then, okay, we got the answer. There was no sense of satisfaction after that. It felt like, it almost felt like you were doing this insanely difficult test in school, except you don't really get the satisfaction of getting a good grade. Like, it's kind of like, all right, I guess I did that. It's like, teacher, did I get an A? Oh, I don't tell my students their grades. But you're doing all right. It's like, okay, thanks for that. Like, one of the ones that we like, because you are isolated a little bit with each puzzle, but you're just overloaded, so it becomes extremely overwhelming as soon as you open up a container. But then you're like, okay, The opening letter says that this is what we're looking for, so I believe this is what this sheet goes to, this is what these go to, and this is what these go to, and then you have all these components for something else at the end. And then you figure it out, and it gets you your word. You tell the girl in the chat room what it is, she gives you a thumbs up emoji, and then you just move on. There's no sense of like each puzzle connecting to the next, which would be cool. Like, again, if it's supposed to be a narrative puzzle adventure, it would be cool if part of the narration, like, hey, you come across a door that has this element, this combination lock or whatever you might need to get past the door, and then you put that in, and then it was this whole really cool website narrative, like kind of a choose your own adventure, but not like a text-based adventure that like pulls you along with it, and then the puzzles hit you. It'd be awesome if it was just they piecemealed out the puzzles to you so that it felt more organic, and this just isn't that at all. And that might be my own set of expectations, not necessarily the game's fault, but I just don't enjoy puzzle games like that. I'm all for a challenge, but whenever it's like you have to do this algorithm to figure out a word, and then the next puzzle is a logic puzzle, and this is what you set to do in a night, and it's immediately just overwhelming and exhausting. You're just like, I just want to go to bed. And they're long. I mean, like, it says 6 hours for, I think, like a 70... I mean, to be fair, for a puzzle game, it is extremely expensive. And I usually don't bring price into it, but I have to because I am not happy with the product, so I'm like, okay, what did my money really go to? They do give you a few gimmick items. Some don't even actually really work like the way I felt like they originally intended. There are ways to make it work. Like, I guess, small spoiler, but a good example is in part 1, you get an item that is supposed to change color, and the way it's read to you as if you're supposed to do something with what you have on your person, except it just doesn't work. So then you the only way I was able to get it to work was I had to go get something in my house to actually get it. And I mean, and that was kind of neat. But then that just kind of led to, it's like, okay, well, this one's done, and now we have to solve the rest of the stuff. So, really, at the end of the day, the narrative is really as deep as what the exhausted 16-year-old reads to you at the start of an escape room. And then the puzzles, while in-depth, the puzzles are in-depth, I just found none of them fun. Like, there wasn't ever a single one. There was no wide variety here of, okay, just didn't like that one didn't work for me. The ones that did work for me, I did not enjoy, and the ones that didn't work for me, I still didn't enjoy. Even the ones that didn't work for me in The Light and the Mist, or any of the other escape room style puzzle games that I've played, even if I didn't know how to solve it, but I found out the answer, some of them I'd be like, okay, that's, who the fuck is figuring that out? Like, that's just being, complex for the sake of being complex. But some would be like, oh, man, that's clever. I would have never would have thought of that. But, I can appreciate that. Here, whenever we would be stumped on something and, be like, we have no idea how to solve this one, and we would go through it and be like, okay, that's obscene. Like, who is this for? I don't know. I don't know who this is for, but it's definitely not for me. I will say, and this also kind of follows a little bit of what the Exit series does, which I've definitely completely grown out of. I don't like puzzle games that make you write or cut up components, because if you're wrong, you have now fucked yourself out of trying to solve the puzzle. Happened many times in the Exit series because they ran out of ideas, so they had to really start stretching the imagination. And if you are wrong and you're cutting something up and you're like, oh, whoops, either I wasn't supposed to cut it up, or I wasn't supposed to cut that up, or we still didn't figure out the puzzle, and now we're done. The difference is the exit games are $15, or they were last time I played them. Here, if you're cutting something up and you're trying to figure it out and you messed up, it's like, okay, well, I guess that's done. Better just get the solution for the hint. However, a positive note on that element is the fact that this game does come with its own refill kit. And it tells you it's not a separate thing you have to get. It replaces items that you might have needed to consume, and any of the sheets you needed to write on, or any of the sheets you needed to cut up. It does come with, so that's nice. At least they had the foresight to be like, okay, we know you spent so much money on this. Each game of theirs seems to come with like 2 replays, or 1 replay, 2 plays total, and I commend them for that. And that's what makes this kind of discussion so weird, is because it's not that their puzzles are unsolvable, because otherwise this would be getting a 1. If it's like you can't even solve it, they are all solvable. It's just that be prepared to spend probably an hour on each puzzle, and each part comes with that's just what it feels like, and it was exhausting every single time. And the narrative element that I was hoping to get kind of like I was hoping to get kind of the narrative element that a hunt a killer or an unlock brings to the table. But it wasn't that. I know their next one that's supposed to be a sequel to this one, the Emerald something. It was on it was crowdfunded recently. I think that one actually has more of a story to it. This one, it technically does have a story to it, but I find it just so generic. Anyway, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, not really, without actually going into detail on any of the puzzles, which I'm not going to do because that would just be spoilers. Oh god, what do I even give this? On a scale of 1 to 10, I mean, I had a bad time from off rip. Like, I forced myself to play through this just to, I was like, maybe the puzzles will get better, and they didn't. I was frequently not having a good time. But it's like, do I give it a number based off of my own personal experience because of just which would be around a 4 to 5 because I just really didn't enjoy anything here. But in terms of who this would be for me personally, this is a 4 to 5, so 4.5. But for people who this is made for, this would be an 8 to a 9. I think they could really, really dive into it. Maybe this is one of those games where you just play within a large group of people, and you divide and conquer, or you look at all at one and everyone is chiming in. But I have a problem playing these games with a large group of people because of the fact that if you're needing everyone's help, there's not enough things to go around. Not everyone can really look at it, so you have to take turns. It's okay, here, your turn to look at it, and then everyone's staring at it, and then they're trying to figure it out, and you want to help and try and figure it out with them, but then you really can't, so then you're okay, I guess I'll look at a different puzzle. And so I've always kind of kept these games at a 3-player max. But maybe it just requires more heads, or maybe it requires me to play with someone who is just who this is made for. But yeah, I have stepped away from this style of puzzle games, and yeah, which is unfortunate because, like I said, I like their Light in the Mist well enough. I was excited to try all their other ones, but if all their other ones are like this, I have absolutely no interest. But that's just me. Everything you might. I wish I could give you more details on the puzzles because that might help you figure out if this is for you, if this is something that might be more up your alley, but I don't want to give away any spoilers. So yeah, I guess that's it. Well, that's the Emerald Flame, everyone. Let me know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.